Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you don't know by now, my name is Dave Rucci. I do music and fun stuff like that. Today I want to do a little bit different of a video, not really a music video per se, but I want to do a string changing video on my Takamine 12-string acoustic electric guitar. This guitar has a bit of a sentimental value for me. I bought it from a now deceased bandmate of mine over 10 years ago. We had a kind of a reunion of the band, and we did like 3 or 4 gigs, and my pay for those gigs was this guitar. So I instead of receiving cash, I wanted this guitar because my buddy had 2 12 strings at the time, and I really wanted a 12-string acoustic electric, and so the rest is history. Anyway, yeah, my bandmate's name was Chris Peck, and he passed away 10 years ago this year. So yeah, this guitar has a bit of a sentimental value for me, and I have some things I wanted to use it for coming up here this year, and decided it's about time to change the strings because I have not changed them since I bought it from him some over 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago now. Anyway, I'll get into the changing the strings and adjusting like the truss rod, or seeing if that's even necessary. So yep, we'll do that now. Alright, got the guitar situated here, got my 12-string strings. Gonna need a wire clipper, string clipper, a winder for your guitar strings, which you get all the loose strings on, and then I have a Allen wrench here for the truss rod in case it needs adjustment. So that's pretty much it. Also, I always wipe down my guitars pretty thoroughly with a lightly moistened rag, just to get the excess dust and grime off. So I usually wind up doing kind of a deep scrub on these things, just to get all the yuck off. But yeah, you don't want to wet it down too much because you don't want to wind up warping your wood. So anyway, alright, let's get to it. So just gonna loosen all these suckers here. It's probably pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna save a little time here, and on your winder tool there's a little thing for your peg that goes in the hole. It's easy to just pluck those out, and it might speed up the process here. I don't think I have to put these in a certain spot. I don't think I actually have to save the peg to a particular hole. If I do, I'm in trouble right now. So we got all the pegs out. Make sure you don't lose them. Set those right here for now. Okay. Pull all these strings off. Should be pretty easy to come off. If I wanted to have more fun with it, I would just cut them all. It's a little bit more messy. I don't really feel like dealing with a mess today, so I'm just going to pull them off like so. Nice bass sound there. Right, mess here. Okay, I think I have all the strings stripped off of here. Tried to do that as quickly as I could. Alright, nope, still got one straggler. Alright, I'm gonna tie these in a big knot and just tuck them away, because my cat Kobe will totally like gnaw on this and make it a little kitty toy, which it actually is a great cat toy, but he loves these guitar strings more than anything else in the world. But he could also probably put his eye out with this, so yeah. So we're gonna throw that out. Okay, So now to the, we got all the strings stripped off. We're going to do the deep cleaning now, which is just, see the headstock here is pretty filthy. A little bit of dust on there. Probably write my name in there. Woohoo! So yeah, you see there's a little bit of dust on there. Alright, we're going to clean this puppy off. Last thing, these I usually try to wipe off the fretboard pretty good. I give it a pretty good, a thorough scrubbing, if you will. Kind of push down on the fret area pretty good because you get a ton of finger crud on these areas. So. Okay, so that's about as clean as it's going to get. Don't think we need that rag anymore. Okay, so I got my 12-string D'Addario EXP36 acoustic guitar, light 12-string. I bought these a while ago, thinking they might be too light, but I'm going to give them a try anyway, because the largest string size is 47.047. That's pretty, for an acoustic, that's pretty thin. But, alright, here we go. So I think they got the color coding here. The brass is the big strings, which is this. So this is my E. Low strings, red is A, E, A. Black is D. Somewhere in here. EAD. G is green. Makes sense, right? Okay. Green is G. G string. Purple is B. Little e is silver. That's good. Double check again. Going backwards, silver, purple, green, black, red for the A, and brass for the big E. Okay. Doesn't really matter where you start. I'm just going to start on the big E string, low E. We got two different string thicknesses here. On the top 4 sets of strings, E, A, D, G, so you're going to have a standard E, tuned low E, and then on top of that, there's going to be a higher octave of that E. Same with the A, same with the D, same with the G. Then the B and the E are just doubling strings. There's no octave there. They're the same, basically the same note, but it gives you a thicker, more of a chorusy sound. All right, so you take your ball end here of the small string of the low E. In this case, it's a 0.027 diameter, inch diameter. Stick that in the most upper hole. In this case, it's the back. It's the back top. Just put that in there. and then take your peg with the slotted part facing forward, stick it in there. It should shove it in. Try to shove it in there as best you can. Come up around here. It might pop out, but that usually happens. See, it's coming out, I think. So then you want, what I usually do is I wrap it around. You don't necessarily have to go through the nut here yet. I wrap it around the posts twice. Put my finger down here. One wrap. And on the second wrap, make sure you're holding that down. When you stick this through the hole, it doesn't matter which side it is, if it's on the front or the back. Well, if this is wrapped around maybe 1.5 times, that's usually what I do. Anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 wraps. And then on top of that wrap, I stick this through the hole. Come out, you want to make sure it's on top of the string that you wrapped. Oops, just popped it through the hole. Okay. This is not as hard as it seems. I am making it look way more difficult than it actually is. Okay, if I could just hold the dang thing down. Okay, grab that, pull it through, make sure it's on top of the string that you wrapped. Okay, and then you want to get your little turner here, just wind that up, just to put a little pressure on it for now. You can just kind of move this in the slot because it goes in the very top slot. Just wind that up really fast, you put a little pressure on it. The peg might pop out, so just you can hold it down if you want or not. It should naturally wrap the string underneath the two wraps that you did around the peg. Alright, I don't know if that's anywhere near yet, but it's good. So you want to get it roughly close, and then I seem to have lost my E. Okay, so this is the standard lower E string. Alright, so you want to stick that in the second hole here, and put a peg in. Same thing, stick that in the hole just enough. You want the little round brass wheel here to go in just far enough to where you can push it down with the bottom part of the peg. Shove that in there. Unfortunately, I wound this too tight now. You want to make sure you can push that down and it doesn't get in the way of the string. Yeah, that's good. Okay, same deal. Wrap it around twice. 1.5 to 2. Stick it through the hole. This way I'm coming this direction. Hold that down with your nail. Stick this on top of the wind. Shove it through. You want to make sure it stays. Grab it with another finger. Pull that all the way through. Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it. Pull it in there far enough. Okay, should hold. Wrap it up. Make sure you're going the right direction. This is gonna kind of. These two are already kind of automatically fell into the right slot in the nut. Okay, you just want to get it. Start tightening it, but you don't want to go crazy with it yet. Okay, so the A string. Do the small one first. In this case, it is a 0.018. Here. Okay, you hear that little, it's like a little popping sound. Okay, so we got half of it done. You could probably cut these by now because I think it's tight enough. It doesn't, you don't really need any more of that slack, but I'm just going to keep it on there because I'm superstitious about removing stuff too early, because once you do it you can't go back. So that now we're getting into the really tiny little string. This is in my experience the smallest string of the G string is usually always the one that breaks first on a 12 string, so just because it's like very teeny, like even over the E strings. I have had the E and the B strings break before, but the small G string is usually really sensitive. Okay, so this is the first one of the bottom side of the headstock here. Tuning peg, the furthest out on the bottom. Okay, so this one you're going to go around the top of the tuning peg and then wrap it down. These, I forgot to go over that earlier, these you want to go underneath the tuning peg and wrap it, so that would be counterclockwise. On the bottom side you want to go over the top of the tuning peg and wrap it clockwise. So yeah, I forgot to go over that. That's kind of important, I guess. You don't really want to do it the other way, but it kind of, I didn't say anything about it because it kind of just made a lot of intuitive sense to just do it that way. The way they line the tuning pegs up with the nut makes a lot of sense. You'd have to go way out of your way to wrap it underneath the tuning peg and go up. I mean, it would be ridiculous if you did that. So I'm just kind of saying something that I assume was common sense. But so yeah, be really careful with that little G string, because that of all the strings in my experience is the most likely to snap. And then the big string of the G string is actually, it's actually a wound string. It looks kind of brownish. It's got a very fine little wrap on it. So I'm trying to get my strings closer to, they're still kind of loose, but you get your tuning app on your phone. This is INS Tuner. Put it here so you guys can see it, and you want to just get these close, and it's not going to stay in tune, so you're going to have to repeat this process a couple times until it stops going out of tune, because the strings basically, they stretch out, and so you want to do that process a couple times, and then eventually they'll stop stretching out, or they will stop stretching out as much. So each time you go to retune it, you don't have to redo that quite as much. So, okay, this is the point where I pretty much give up on the tuner. I just get it close. I get the low E strings close, and then I just kind of start using the old tuning method. So this time I'm actually going to tune it a half a step down from standard. So we're going to go to the E flat tuning, just because I want to ease the tension on the body and the neck and all that stuff. Let the strings kind of break in. So. Hey, sounds good, right? Still something's out, but getting closer. one last thing, if your guitar needs a truss rod adjustment, you want to hold the E string where the neck meets the body, which here is the 14th fret. So hold it right there, hold that down, and put your finger over the 1st fret, and you want to see how much space you have between the string and the fret. In this case it's the 4th fret. But if there's too much space, you want to tighten the truss rod. In this case my truss rod is in here. You want to go righty-tighty just a little bit, and if it's basically touching, you want to back. If the fret is touching right here, you want to back that off a little bit, so you want to adjust it and go to the left so you're loosening it. In some cases the truss rod adjustment is up near the headstock, so just a little quick liner on that. And yeah, in this case this one's pretty good, but you want to have your strings at full tension when you adjust that. So okay.